Okay, it's working now. It wasn't working before. Okay, that's good. I got it. I got it now. Bye-bye. Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. I'm excited for you all to be here today. We're going to share with you 97% of diets fail. There's a reason for that. And the reason for that is because, well, we don't need that anymore. Need to get rid of that. Anyway, hopefully you can all see me, etc. We had just a couple of technical glitches. We've got them solved. That's why I was late. I apologize to everybody that was wanting to get on at 12:20. So anyway, we've solved the problems and we're ready to go. So anyway, first of all, I'd like to ask any of you that are coming on right now a question. Juan or Gore, Jess. What is a calorie? Can anybody tell me what a calorie is? You see, 97% of diets fail with calorie counting, but I'd like to know from any of you, please, if any of you know, put the definition of a calorie in here, because we've been so misled about calories, it's just ridiculous. I'm going to show you, and here's the cool news about what we do on the New Health Conversation. This is a live podcast. It's not pre-recorded. It's not an infomercial. You'll notice above my head, the New Health Conversation. That's our brand. That website is a medical website for you to go for free. No one's going to contact you. And if you like what you see, you scroll down, you get a free coach. I'm going to go over exactly what they did to show you these 10, we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. The other weight loss programs out there, at best, they have one, and the results, as you'll see, are completely pitiful. Not only are 97% of the diets failing, but you're going to see, not my opinion. We don't give opinions, because we know we've got the censors out there and they're looking at this. We don't give opinions. We only base things on medical facts. We don't make any claims, and everything we do is safe because it's backed by medical proof, not hyperbole. So it's not some crazy thing. You're going to see before and afters that you will swear are photoshopped or they're AI. They're neither of those. They're neither of them, okay? And we're going to show you in dramatic fashion that counting calories is dead, finished, obsolete, over the hill, finished, okay? So we got lots of people joining us now. We got user 730, Yvonne, we got Dad's Carnot, Crazy Health, Lila, Lori, Bruce. And again, any of you that are just coming on now, since the topic is diets fail with calorie counting, can anybody just put in the chat, tell me the definition of a calorie? I really want to know if you understand what a calorie is, if it is, and why counting calories is one of the most craziest things I've ever come up with, and you'll understand why when I explain it to you. So does anybody know, Paul, Lala, can anybody put in the chat for me what a calorie actually is? Because you're all counting calories. I don't know of a diet out there where it's not either some form of counting calories or they disguise it by, for example, like the keto diet where they eliminate carbohydrates. You're still lacking something, okay? Even though they call it a calorie, that's not really what you're lacking. So can anybody please put in the chat, what the definition of a calorie is? The problem is that we have 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. Does that sound to you like whatever you're doing, whatever these diets are, work? And I've got a big study over here. Actually, I've got it in my hand from Johns Hopkins Medical School. Listen to what they're saying. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. We estimate 86% of America is going to be overweight or obese. Does that sound to you like any diets are working for anybody? So Kia, let's see, Akusa, Karen, Brian Freeman, sorry, Brian, Supplement B. Again, I'm waiting for anybody to put in the chat what the definition of a calorie is. You're all counting calories. What are you counting? Why are you counting them? Does it work? It doesn't work. And we're going to show you the medical evidence for that in just a moment. Okay, so no one is brave enough to put it in there. So let me explain to you why counting calories is like, you might as well be counting fairy dust, or you're counting sheep when you're sleeping. All a calorie is the amount of heat it takes to raise a gram of water 1 degree Celsius. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. The only thing your body cares about is nutrition. And what I'm going to share with you, first let me show you the before and after pictures to get your attention. When you see these on my two sons' heads and my four grandkids, they're not photoshopped, although you're going to think they are. And what's so sad, 99.9% of you are going to go back to what you were doing before you came on this podcast. You're going to count calories, and you're going to see that 2/3 of you are going to end up gaining more weight than you lost by counting calories. Okay, and I'm going to show you the medical proof, starting even with Harvard Medical School. But before we get there, let me show you what's possible now. Now, they're not photoshopped, they're not AI, although you're going to think it is. The first girl had about 35 pounds to lose. This is exactly 30 days. Wait till you see this result. She lost 20 pounds and 38 inches in the medical studies in 30 days. That's 5 pounds a week. Look at the change in her body. Look at the stomach, abdomen, diaphragm area in her body. Look at how much she shrank. It's not a diet. This is not a diet. It has nothing to do with dieting. And the people who invented it to cause this kind of a reaction in people, they're considered the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the whole world, the number one people. They did 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people, and you know what they concluded? Diets don't work. And here's the fatal flaw. And I'll tell you what they did to create this kind of an outcome. But let me show you one more picture just to show you how dramatic this is. This lady is 37 days. Look, by the way, that's 35 pounds. Look at the change. Look at from her neck to her arms to her stomach to her legs. Now, you can think it's photoshopped all day long because most of you are going to go back to doing paleo or keto or Mediterranean or time-restricted eating, whatever the heck you're doing. None of them work in the long run. But go for it if that's what you want to do. We're given an open forum to the world to see the medical proof for the first time ever. After 40 years of research, they figured out, they cracked the code on obesity and health. I mean, otherwise, look at those results. Has any of you ever seen anything like that before? Please put in the comment if you think you have. Wow, lots of new people. User 147, Elaine, Patricia, user 513, Ryan, lots and lots of you. Now, let me show you some of the men because this is even crazier. How about this? 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days. Yet, it's not the big part of his story. He's an older gentleman. I know his stomach went down. That's great. Look at his lab work. Everybody, look at his lab work. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. His triglycerides went 242 to 124 in 30 days. Hello. This is not a diet. It doesn't work like that. I'm going to explain to you how they did it in just a moment, I promise, because everybody gets anxious. Okay, tell us what it is. Tell us what it is. I'm going to do it, I promise, okay? But I just want you to get a picture. If any of you are honest with yourselves, or you don't have to be honest with me, if you wanted to lose 20 pounds from this point forward, or maybe you're on a diet, how long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? I'd really like to know. I really would. And then if some of you are on diets, I'd like to know, how are you doing? How many of you have gone on diets, lost weight, and gained it all back? I've had people tell me they lost 100 pounds, they've gained it all back. Diets are a miserable failure. There's no way on earth you could support a premise if right today, 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic, and in less than 5 years, Johns Hopkins Medical School says 86% of Americans are estimated to be overweight or obese in less than 5 years. Does that sound like a solution? This is insanity. This is craziness. Go to Barnes & Noble and look at how many diet titles there are. But do any of them work? No, not in the long run. I'm going to show you the medical proof in a minute. But let's get into how did they do this, okay? Let's go back to Kristen. 20 pounds in 30 days. 38 inches from her neck to her ankles. How did she do it? Okay, so the research has figured out, here's why diets fail for all of you. All a diet is reducing the quantity of food you're consuming. It has nothing to do with calories. But when you reduce the food you're consuming, and what's the most important thing in food? I know it tastes good. No, that's not the reason. It's for the nutrition. When your brain senses you go on a diet, lower the amount of food, it triggers in your brain starvation, warning, red lights are flashing in the brain going, So in order to survive, the brain thinks it stops all use of the energy stored in your fat cells and turns to your muscles for fuel. It's not up for debate. Do you know in all the diet study, you're losing weight? We're not arguing that. Let's say you lose 20 pounds. 25 to 40% of what you're losing is lean muscle mass. I'll prove it to you in just a few minutes. Do you understand what you're doing to yourselves by losing lean muscle, which is the brain's reaction to not enough fuel? It's a survival mechanism. And it slows down your metabolism because there's not enough fuel. But worse than that, way worse than that, you know what else it slows down? Your own immune system. So these diets you're on are making you unhealthy, despite what they're telling you. These nice influences, and I say that with all sincerity. There's medical doctors and chiropractors and dietitians and nutritionists and workout people and weight loss coaches and health coaches. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. If any of this stuff worked, how could we be at 80%? How could we be projected in less than 5 years to be at 86% overweight and obese? We got 50% of our kids overweight, and a third of them are either pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetes. Do you know when children 35 years ago, type 2 diabetes didn't even exist? Almost, it was just an anomaly. So the researchers said, okay, here's what they did. They said, can we give, in this case, Kristen or any of these people, less food but increase nutrition? That was the theory, and it was a theory. So what they did, they assembled food groups, new food groups never put together before. She got a list of 30% of the food she consumed, she bought from her grocery store. Fats, carbs, proteins, etc. But here's what was different about that. Not based on calories, based on serving sizes, like how much of each was she actually going to consume. Okay? And that was less than what she was typically. Remember, they were going to give her less food, but they were going to increase nutrition. Now, the other thing that they did that was fantastic, they found other researchers who had found food groups in Russia and Mongolia, in Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of nutrition, but not huge amounts of food in terms of quantity. And the researchers said those 5 food groups, nutrient, and this is not lotions, potions, pills, supplements, no. These are nutrients from the food in these regions of the world where the soil is still very vibrant. See, we've over-farmed in this country. We've used so many herbicides and pesticides to produce these huge quantities of food, the nutritional values are crashing. Our food is all but nutritionally insufficient in this country. It's a sad thing, you know. It's not the farmer's fault. So these 5 foods became the essence of the world's most perfect meal, according to the top nutrition, weight loss physiologists in the world. That's not my opinion. By the way, I'm the researcher of the research. My name is Peter Greenlaw. I've written 4 best-selling books to some of the biggest medical doctors in the world, 20 shows on PBS, and 1,500 live lectures around the world. None of it meant a darn thing for 22 of my 23 years. In the medical world, it meant zero. Until about a year and a half ago, these medical studies started to come out. Some of them were started 13 years ago. That's how long they take. They're on human beings. They cost a lot of money, but they're the most comprehensive validation we have in medical science, medical research, okay? Like no drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. You hear them say, oh, we got a scientific study, got a scientific paper. That doesn't mean a damn thing. So what they did, they now had the food groups, right? 30% from the grocery store and 70% from the foods around the world. Then what they did, they had her 5 days a week. She had 4 meals a day. She started with the world's most perfect meal for breakfast, no food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these world's most perfect meals. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. So don't hear intermittent fasting. That's not what this is. It's intermittent nutritional fasting. On those days, no food from the grocery store, but wait till you hear this. She had the nutrients from these 5 foods around the world 8 times a day. She was literally eating every hour and a half to 2 hours. All the people were. And look at the results. Look at those results, everyone. This is not a diet. The other part of it that's even more exciting, okay? Did that make sense to everybody? Because otherwise people are saying, what did they do? What did they do? How did they do it? Hopefully I just explained it to everybody. So Mind and Michael and Michael again and Eddie and Ms. V and Barrington. Do any of you have any questions? We have 2 likes so far. That's it. Can you tap on your screen and let me show that all this hard work, 23 years of research to bring this website to the world for free? Free. Here's the website, everybody. Right above my head. The New Health Conversation. If you go there, we will not contact you. Absolutely not. And you can see there, free coaching. That's not a joke. We coach you for free. You've never done anything like this. By the way, you don't buy anything from us. You don't buy anything from the researchers. 30% of your food you buy at the grocery store, and the other 70% from these other suppliers from around the world. And your coach will show you how to order from them, directly from the suppliers I'm in. So the other part of this that's so critically important, did you all see from 3 weeks ago, they're now saying they're finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries. What else do they find in our body? Herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon and flame retardants, and all these chemicals in our world are ending up inside our body, and the body, to protect us once the liver can't deal with them anymore. Do you know right now 40% of Americans, they're estimating, have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? Did you know that? That's not from drinking too much alcohol. And so what's happening, the liver is trying to do its job. It's so overwhelmed that it's actually it's creating fat cells, or enrobing. It's using fat to harness or protect you from the toxins. But the liver is filling up. So now when the toxins in the body's taking that chemical and stuffing it inside your fat cells. Well, in these studies where they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, they proved that this was removing chemicals from your body. That's the main reason to do it. But you can see it in the pictures. Look at this. Look at the shrinkage in her stomach. Look at her legs, her whole body. She's detoxing. See, and don't let anybody tell you go on a diet, you burn fat. That's a lie. Exercise, you don't burn fat. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells, and they can expand or they can contract. And many of you who contact us say that one of the biggest complaints is not just how much weight I've gained, but how much fat I have on my body. Well, here's your solution. Because what this is doing, it's assisting the body removing the chemical from the fat cell. The fat cell then shrinks. But notice she has no loose skin. But I'm going to show you one more. This is the daughter of a friend of mine who's a realtor. Wait till you see this. You'll think it's a different person. 60 pounds in 3 months. 60 in 3 months. But look at the change. Look at her body. Look at her face. Look at the bloating. It's all gone. Her face, her arms. Look at her midsection. I know you all think this is photoshopped or AR. Oh my God, it's unhealthy to lose that much weight that fast. Says who? Says who? Because do you know what the latest research says? The faster you can lose weight, as long as you don't lose lean muscle, A, it's the road to longevity, but two, 95% of the people that are able to lose the weight in the right way quickly keep it off forever. This protocol is called R2M, race to maintenance. The only reason to do it, like that picture of hers 8 years ago. She's kept the weight off for 8 years. So is Julie, so is everybody. But again, look at this. 40 pounds in a month and 52.5 inches from his neck to his ankles. But look at the blood work. I know the weight loss is spectacular and exciting, but that's not the big deal. Look at the change in his medical outcomes. A1C from 8.4 to 6.4 in a month. Ask a diabetic about how dramatic that is. And how about triglycerides? 242 to 124, reducing that fat in your blood. Hello? The main reason to do this is to detox. The main reason, the weight loss, we joke, that's just a throw in. Well, I mean, imagine how excited would you, John Crowley, Trish, Rosini, William, Bob, Janice, James, Apple User, Barrington, Antonio, Leah, Madam, I'm not sure. Madam, is it Madame? No, I guess it's Madam. So again, would any of you like to ask me a question? Because, I mean, what are you saying that for? I mean, we just have to get rid of people that just do stupid things. Anyway, and look at Andy, 45 pounds and 60 inches in a month. Now, he's younger, but look at his A1C from 7.9 to 6.2. Look at his LDL cholesterol from 120 to 59 in 30 days. I know you think it's fake. It's not fake. It isn't fake because we got the medical proof behind it. So any of the censors that are looking at this, this is in the public domain. This is published in the biggest medical journals in the world. And they do the scrutiny for us to protect us from unsubstantiated claims. These are not unsubstantiated claims because we have the medical proof to back it up. They did blood, stool, urine, fat, liver enzyme. Do you know that inflammation in this protocol came down 25% in 30 days? No diet's ever produced anything even resembling that. Diets are an abject failure. Failure, just like I said. Let's come back to the first picture. 97% of diets fail, and wait till you hear the other medical proof why they're saying, stop counting calories. Stop! It doesn't work long term. I'm not going to have you believe me. But let's look at some of the medical evidence, and then I promise I'll come back and for the new people coming on and explain to you how did she do this? How did she lose 5 pounds a week and 38 inches in just 30 days? By the way, no one was allowed to exercise. I forgot to mention that to all of you. No one was allowed to exercise. They actually wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising because the researchers, who aren't against exercise, but they eliminated it so that people couldn't say, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. No, they were sedentary for the most part. I understand you're struggling thinking that this is crap, bull, I'm making things up, it's not real. No, it's real. It's absolutely real. Now, let's just take a moment and look at the proof about calorie counting, okay? Let's start with, some of you probably heard of this place, Harvard Medical School. Not my opinion. Nothing I'm going to share with you next is my opinion. I'm just reading from the studies. The title is Stop Counting Calories. They went on to say, this idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, she says, and concentrate what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. This one, big study, the science behind why diets don't work. Listen to what they said in this. Despite all the ads that say otherwise, it's very rare for people to lose weight and keep it off for good by counting calories. Not only that, but 2/3 of people who diet by calories in, calories out gain more weight than they originally lost, ending up at a higher weight than where they started. A review of more than 30 long-term studies showed that going on a diet by calories in, calories out causes weight gain. You're on a diet to gain weight. Did you know that? Did the researchers, did the influencers tell you that? You're going to lose weight initially, but what good is it? If you end up weighing 2/3, you're going to weigh more than when you started. What are you all doing? Now, maybe you're mad at me and this guy's crazy, but let's take a look. How about Medicare? You think they have a dog in this hunt with the costs of healthcare now? This is their study. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. That's the title of their study. They said, our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. Remember, this is Medicare saying this, right? The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on their diets. In summary, there is little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. What? Do you see what's going on here? Do you? Because it's sad, because 99% of you, you're going to go back to paleo or keto or Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers or Nutrisystem or counting calories or carb recycling or macros or whatever nonsense you're doing, nonsense in the sense. None of them work long-term, and 2/3 you're going to gain more weight than you lost until now. These studies, which were started, like I said, 13 years ago, people have kept the weight off now since the beginning. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. I hope that makes you a little curious, just a little bit. And yet, again, we've provided a free place for you to go, right above my head, the new health conversation. And if you go there, we're not going to contact you. Why? What's holding you back? I don't know. It drives me crazy. We have cumulatively thousands and thousands of people on my podcast. We got people from all over the world on these podcasts. Obviously, you're looking for a solution. It's okay I understand you're skeptical. But you've got to understand, when you're talking about peer-reviewed human trial studies, they're irrefutable medical evidence. They've done the research for you. And you know what their job is in these big medical journals when they send it out to be reviewed by the top medical doctors and researchers in the world? You know what their job is, those people? To discredit what you're claiming. That's why no drug of it to prove without a peer-reviewed human trial study. So again, uses 784, Aileen Nara, I believe that is, Mab Mayers, John A. Hender, Barb, and Juanita. Would any of you like to ask me a question? I promise, if you go to that website, we're not going to contact you. We don't do that. But we give you free coaching, like no kidding. You can scroll down and sign up for free coaching because we don't sell you anything. We don't have any products. The researchers, they don't have a company, products, they don't sell anything. You're going to get a food list. As a matter of fact, better than that, this is what they used in the medical studies. This is what they gave the people that you're seeing, like Kristen, like her. She followed this schedule. And what was in here, these are the yellows. I know you can't read them. These are videos. You click on there and a video comes up with the researchers explaining to you why it's not a diet, why it's safe, why it's something that you want to be really, really considering. There's no guesswork. And then you have a real coach, someone who's done it. Now, why are we doing this? Because somebody coached us. We only have so many coaches. We can only help so many people. Hopefully, some of you might decide you want to do this, have an incredible result. Maybe you have a sister or brother, an uncle or cousin, and maybe you want to coach them. You don't have to. There's no obligation to do that. This is all about Pay It Forward, one of my most favorite movies in the whole world. I don't know if some of you saw that. A couple of people were on yesterday just talking about, oh my God, that's one of the greatest movies ever. I know you can get it on Netflix for free. It was, gosh, I think it's 40 years ago, whatever it was. 30 years ago, I guess it was. Anyway, hello, Melanie. Barrington Stewart, send me information. No, it doesn't quite work like that, Barrington. Here's what you can do better than that. Right there, see it? Do you see it above your, up in the blue up there, Barrington? Send me where you asked me, send me information. The New Health Conversation. We want you to be able to go there and see the medical proof. Okay, that's the information you're looking for. There's an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. He and his team invented this. They don't sell it, but they explain to you why it works. And then if you like what you see, Barrington, then you can scroll down and get a free coach that'll show you the foods they use from the grocery store and these 5 food groups from around the world, and they'll show you how to order from those suppliers, not from the coaches. That's not what we do. We're here to educate you. So you talk about information. That's where it is. Oh, I'm getting a few hearts now. We're at 14 likes. Really? That's it? This is information that could change the rest of your lives. This is not about fitting in your skinny jeans. And I know this time of year, especially, people are all hopped up because what do we got? We got weddings coming up. We got anniversary. We got graduations. We got summer. But what are you doing? I mean, I'd love for anybody. Look, I'm a really nice person. If we're going to have a conversation, let's have a civil conversation. You can disagree with me, but you're going to be hard pressed to show me medical proof that what I've shared with you in the 12 or 14 studies that I've already shared with you, calorie counting is dead. It's obsolete. If that's the case, then what are you going to do? Seriously, I'm going to ask him, what are you going to do? What diet do you think you're going to go on to lose weight and keep it off long term? When even Medicare is saying, Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments, diets are not the answer. And our research has reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment of obesity. The researchers found the majority of the studies showed 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost. That's from Medicare. What are you doing? You're counting calories. You are, whether you know it or not. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't work. Do you get it? Does it? 2/3 you're going to weigh more than when you started. Do you understand you'd be better off not going on a diet at all? You'd actually be healthier in the long run. Because when you go on a diet, we now know 25 to 40%, listen, 40% of the weight you lose is lean muscle mass. Now, you don't have to believe me. Let's look at a huge study done on, and I'm not against the shots, the GLP-1s, Ozempic, semaglutide, tripazide, there's a bunch of them, right? But here's the study. You can all go look it up in the New England Journal of Medicine. I don't want you to believe me. But New England Journal of Medicine is one of the top 2 or 3 medical journals in the world. They did a 68-week study, 68 weeks. And here, right in the study, here are the results. People lost 32 pounds in 68 weeks, and 40% of what they lost was lean muscle mass. It's right in the study. And they went on to say that this intervention has clinically relevant reductions in body weight. What? 32 pounds in 68 weeks? I guess Kristen didn't get the memo. She lost 20 pounds in a month and 38 inches with no exercise. Wait a minute. I guess Curtis didn't get the message. Oh my God, 40 pounds. Wait a second. According to those numbers, 40 pounds? You know how long that would, if it took them 68 weeks, okay, 68 weeks to lose 32 pounds. So again, let's extrapolate it out. I mean, he'd be like a year and a half or more. He lost it in 30 days and 52 inches. Least important part of his story, look at his blood work. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124 in 30 days. Or how about, she didn't get the message. Oh my God, 60 pounds in 3 months. 3 months, not 68 weeks. How long would it have taken her to lose 60 pounds? You do the math. 68 weeks, 30 pounds. It's about a half a pound a week, right? maybe give or take a little bit, right? So 68 weeks would be 34 pounds. So actually, it's a little bit less than a half a pound a week. So, and that's the case, that would have taken her 120 weeks, which is a couple of years. Do you all see this? Yes, Juanita, go take a look. I literally stopped eating and still couldn't lose weight. A man of, yes, listen, I'm reaching out to you, all of you that are open to the possibility. So a man of look at your buddies here. Look at Curtis. Look at that, 40 pounds in a month. Andy, oh my gosh, look at him, 45 pounds in a month. Doesn't that intrigue you, all of you? A man of I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. You've got to understand, you're proving my point. You stopped eating and you couldn't lose weight. Why? Because your body shut down fat burning altogether. Not fat burning, but the energy in fat cells, and use your muscles, which slow down your metabolism. And you watch. And again, if you do start to gain the weight back, we know that 95% is fat. It's not lean muscle mass. These influences are telling you a bunch of hogwash. You're proving my point. Every one of you on here, you have a chance to completely change the rest of your lives, or not. Here's the free website for all of you to go to. All the information's there, and we won't contact you. See it? The new health conversation. It's right there above my head. See it in blue? The new health conversation. Don't you think we need one, everybody? Do you think what we're doing listen to me. If the CDC is saying, they did last year, estimates 92% of you are metabolically unhealthy if you have 3 of 5 factors: overweight, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglycerides. All 5 came down dramatically in 30 days. Triglycerides came down 24% in 30 days. I showed one guy's 50%. Let me show you again. Look at his, sorry, it was Curtis, sorry. Curtis, his triglycerides went from 242 to 124 in 30 days. You think any diet you're on now could even approach these numbers? Or is A1C from 8.4 to 6.4? Do you know how hard it is for a diabetic to lose weight? Because when they give them the medicine, thank God we have it, to lower the blood sugar, insulin goes up. In the studies, you can go and read it yourself. It's right there. Insulin went down 41% in 30 days. But there's a proof. And then Andy, look at him. Okay, his A1C 7.9 to 6.2. Look at his bad cholesterol from 120 to 59. So both those men, they don't have metabolic syndrome anymore. Do you get it? We're here to help you. But you have to do a little bit of the work yourself to go and look at the medical proof. And we're not going to contact you, and then we'll coach you for free. Because we don't sell you anything. The researchers don't sell you anything. So how did they do it? I know some of you came on. I checked out the website in 3 sentences. Can you say what this is? The website, I'm going to explain it to you right now. So I didn't invent it. Here's what they did. So in other words, how did Curtis lose that kind of weight? What the researchers did for you, they figured out that diets didn't work because a diet is nothing more than reducing the quantity of food you're consuming. And what no one was telling you was that you were reducing nutrition at the same time. As a result, your brain shuts down utilizing the energy in your fat cells and turn to your muscles, slowing down your metabolism. You proved it. That's why you couldn't lose weight. What they did is they figured out, can we come up and give you less food, and not base it on calories, by the way. Base it on serving sizes. That's very, very important. But only 30% of the food that you would get, you'd buy at the grocery store and you'd get a list of, just like they did. The other 70% in this case, in all cases in the people in this protocol, were 5 food groups that the researchers didn't find. They don't sell, they don't have a company, but they found other researchers that had gone to Russia, to Mongolia, to Tibet, to South America, New Zealand, that found foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but not huge amounts of volume. Then they invented 2 different ways to consume the food, which we would teach you, okay, for free. 5 days a week, he had 4 meals a day. He started with these foods from around the world, nothing from the grocery store: breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal, these foods from around the world, last meal of the day. Completely different than a diet, okay? Then 2 days a week, he did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not intermittent fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these 5 foods from around the world. But listen to this. He consumed them 8 8 times a day. He was having something about every an hour after 2. All these people were. So whether it was Kristen, that's what she did, or Julie, this one's so dramatic. That's 37 days. Look at the change in her body composition. We did not Photoshop any of this or AI. I don't even know how to do that, but we don't need to. Why? Because it's based on the medical studies. It's 100% safe. If you tried, no, well, anybody, show me a diet where you could lose. She only had about 35 pounds to lose. Just 35 pounds in basically, what's that? 37 days is 5 weeks. 5 weeks and 2 days if you want to be really technically correct. I know it. So a man of retrotide. Does that make sense to you now? Well, at least you're up to a bunch of likes. Thank you all, Jose and Grandma and Jen. And so I want to make sure, a man of retrotide, that makes sense to you. But obviously, there's a lot more information on the website. But go listen to the interview with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. That's not me. He'll explain it all to you, why they'll never, listen to this, they've been doing it 40 years. They're the top people in the world. They said they'd never recommended to their patients a traditional diet ever again. I don't care if it's carnivore, paleo, Mediterranean, what it is. They said it would be unethical. They said, why would we put people on diets that would take them 8 weeks to lose weight in the most unhealthy way, knowing that 2/3 of them were going to end up weighing more than they did when they started in the long run? Am I making sense to all of you? Do any of you have additional questions? Some of you coming on late. Oh, okay. I apologize. Seriously, I don't like when people mispronounce my name, and I'm sorry that Retatruetide. Wow, I'm on the newest GLP-1. That's what the name is. Oh, that's what the drug is. Okay. Did you hear? Okay, so you heard me read. Now remember, this is the New England Journal of Medicine, okay? New GLP-1, they're all the same. Do you understand what they're doing to you? They're slowing down the food, moving through your digestive tract. Code word, you consume less food. But they're not telling you you're getting less nutrition. You are losing lean muscle, whether you know it or not, and it's going to cause you in the long run, unless you can stay on those shots for the rest of your life, you're going to gain all the weight back and more. They only lost 32 pounds in 68 weeks, and 40%, let's do the math, 40% of 32 pounds, almost 14 pounds, was lean muscle mass. Not my opinion. The experts say to gain 1 pound of lean muscle back, you would have to do 1 year of working out. How's that sound to you? And I'm not against the shots. If people are that desperate, it's helping diabetics and it's helping people that are morbidly obese. But I'm working right now with spots, about 300 people that I'm advising. Every one of them, they're all losing lean muscle mass. It's not up for debate. There's not one of them on any of these GLP-1s that's not losing lean muscle mass. And God forbid they stop taking the shot. They're gaining as much as a half a pound a day. How do you think, seriously, on the GLP-1, look at that result. Please tell me honestly, be honest with me. What do you think about that result? No, you can't eat calories for what? Yeah, it has nothing. Please, Phelan Surfer dude, calories are complete nonsense for the human body. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. It only cares about nutrition. That's what these researchers prove, but it's not me. Listen to this. Medicare search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. The reviewers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricting diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The researchers found studies where 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on their diets by calories in, calories out. Counting calories, get rid of it. Stop counting calories. It doesn't work long term. Study after study. And here's why. Let me read the medical results. This is why calorie counting doesn't work. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is it ignores that the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the calories in, calories out formula can support people achieving weight loss initially, the reduction in energy ensures the lost weight will be regained and more. So by you counting calories, number one, you're making yourself unbelievably unhealthy. Because what happens ultimately, when the brain figures out you don't have enough fuel, it stops using the energy stored in your fat cells and turns to your muscles. And when that happens, it has to slow down your metabolism. That's why people plateau on diets. That's why they come off the diets, they gain everything back. But worse, by losing lean muscle mass, you're slowing down your own immune system. I work with one of the top oncologists in the world, and he told me the worst thing that can ever happen to someone with cancer, worst thing, is for them to lose weight because it's mostly lean muscle mass, which slows down their immune system. So you're all going on these diets that count calories. You're making yourself unhealthy. Maybe you don't like me telling you that, but all the medical evidence is there. You can ignore it because most of you will. Most of you are going to go back to following your influencer, 10,000 steps, drink more water, make a list, go to the gym, whatever. It doesn't work. How could you support the fact that John Hopkins, right now we're at 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. In less than 5 years, they're projecting, John Hopkins Medical School, not me, they're estimating 86% of America is going to be overweight and obese. Does that sound to you like diets are working to any of you? What are you all doing? I'd love for you to put it in the chat for me. I'm a nice person. I'm not going to, I'm not going to, if we're going to have a civil, you can disagree with me. That's fine. But I rest on peer-reviewed human trial studies. What would you argue? An opinion? Calories in, calories out works? It doesn't work. And you're all doing it, some form of it. Really what you're doing is all your diets, you're reducing the amount of food you're consuming. That's what the shots do. And you're reducing the amount of nutrition. And you're burning your muscles for fuel, slowing down your metabolism, and slowing down your immune system. Does that sound like a winning proposition to any of you? Who's telling you this? Who is telling you? I see they're nice people. I see medical doctors and chiropractors and dietitians and nutritionists and fitness people and weight loss coaches and health coaches. They're all telling you the same thing. Oh, we're sure to cut 300 calories a day. No, 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 and no. Is that enough no's? We're not making up anything. That's the difference. At the New Health Conversation, see issues in some resistance. That is, okay, so let me explain to you about insulin. So when people are on insulin, okay, and maybe you are, or you're not on insulin, but you're on this other drug. The problem, the advantage of the drug, whatever the drug name is, it reduces the amount of sugar. But in every case, it increases insulin. In the studies, I showed you the A1C in 30 days. But insulin also came down 41% in 30 days. That's never been seen in any study before. But I mean, look at his A1C. It went from 8.4 to 6.4 in 30 days. That's unheard of. That's just unheard of. So the fact that, we know now, so insulin resistant, we know now that 80% of Americans are overweight, 50% obese, 50% are pre-diabetic or insulin resistant. This is doing it. But the difference, it's not an opinion on my part. The medical proof is there. And you get to go to that website above. You can go see all the medical proof. You can see the actual studies. As a matter of fact, let me do that for all of you now. I'm going to show you the website so you don't think I'm making things up and you're going to go there and we're going to call you. We're not doing that. There's the website, everybody. There's nothing to buy on that website. So the 1, 2, 3, and 4, those are videos, or in the case of number 3, you actually can go to the studies. Click the link. It takes you to the journals. Right there. We have nothing to hide. We're so proud of the fact we're the only ones. We're the canaries in the coal mine, screaming at all of you, really screaming, saying, stop counting calories. I mean, how in the world, why are you counting calories? Your body's not counting calories. Your body doesn't know what a calorie is. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories. You're hungry for nutrition. Why do we have such an epidemic in this country now? Well, how about this? How about 60 pounds in 3 months? I know it looks like a different girl. I know she's the daughter of a friend of mine who's a realtor. Look at the bloating in her body, how it went away. Look at her face, arms. Look at her stomach area. You think that's fake? You think you could do that on the shot? You see the people in the shot, they end up with Ozempic face. They call it Ozempic face. I'm telling you, the people that are coming off the shot, maybe they can't afford it. Whatever. And I'm not dissing the shots, because for people that are really desperate, if they're diabetic or they're morbidly obese, it's helping them. But in the short run, I mean, unless you think that losing 32 pounds in 68 weeks is good, that's a half a pound a week. Well, I mean, you can see there she lost 5 pounds a week for 3 months. Which would you rather do, a half a pound a week or 5 pounds a week that was healthy and you're building lean muscle, not losing it? Again, am I making sense to everybody? Do you all get this? A Larubia, fiber and fasting and health. No, I'm sorry. We're going to have a huge disagreement. Fasting doesn't work. Beyond 21 hours, the only thing you're going to burn is your lean muscle mass. Study after study after study shows that. I'm sorry to tell you that. That's why this is so unique. Well, let me ask you, have you ever seen a result like that? I mean, you realize based on the studies, this would have taken her 68 and 68, it would have taken her 134 weeks, almost 3 years to lose that kind of weight. On people in the shot, I lost 60 kilograms without counting calories. Good. GOP is okay if you're getting it compounded from China. I have reactive hypoglycemia. What's the answer? We have had an incredible, we have people with no thyroids that are having incredible results. Hyperthyroidism, goiter, you name it. So hypoglycemia obviously is low blood sugar. I get it, okay. Had incredible results. You know, this was invented 25 years ago by a diabetic chemist. So obviously he dealt with, high blood sugar, low blood sugar, etc. That's why, again, we would encourage you to go and get a free consultation with one of the coaches, and we'll get you the answers. But that's why we do free consultations. This isn't just about giving you. We don't do recipes. We give you serving. We didn't do it, but the researchers created serving sizes. And again, I'm not sure. Are you overweight? Are you underweight? Reactive hypoglycemia. Yeah, I see that. But are you underweight? Are you overweight? Are you struggling? Do you exercise? I mean, there's lots of questions that it's just so hard to answer on, TikTok. I mean, I would if I knew a little bit more about you. But it's a free consultation, and if you decide to do it, they'll coach you the whole time through. So hopefully that, helps some of you. But again, look at these. Again, look at these numbers. They're crazy. I mean, look at that in just 37 days. It's not a diet. It has nothing to do with dieting. It has nothing to do with counting calories. See, and I always get the comments. I can tell that people want to hold on to what they think works. But when you look at the evidence of what they think works, they're abject failures. Total failures. I haven't found a person yet that's on the shot that isn't losing lean muscle mass. I haven't found a person yet that hasn't come off the shots and gained all the weight back and more. Plus the potential side effects are still something we don't know. People haven't been taking the shots that long. We'll see. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I'm not rooting for you not to be successful. I don't care what you do. You can do the bamboo diet. If you lose weight, okay, that's good. But what kind of weight are you losing, and will you be able to maintain it long term? The only thing that should matter to you is maintenance. That's why this protocol, named by the researchers, the race to maintenance. That's it. So anyway, 60 pounds lost without losing any muscle. I get regular DEXA scans. Great. Well, then I'm not talking to you. Was I trying to talk you out of the shots? But here's what you're not doing on the shots. You're taking no toxins out of your body. Zero. You and me and everybody actually suffer from this medical syndrome, registered trademark U.S. Patent Office, TDOS. Toxicity driven by nutrition deficiency, overweight, and stress. You as an adult would have about 1,000 chemicals embedded in your visceral fat cell. Not an opinion on my part. What are you doing to remove chemicals from your body? Because that shot is not doing a damn thing. No diet's ever been proven until now to remove toxins from the body. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved this is helping the body remove chemicals from your body. No diet, no shot has ever shown that. My God, didn't you just see? We're storing microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries, but also what you're storing in your body are herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon and flame retardants. What are you doing about that? Any of you? I'm talking in general now. The main reason to do this is not to lose the weight. You can see it's unbelievable. I'd be very curious. You lost 60 kilos, so that's about 120 pounds. How long did it take you? I'm just curious. I think that's great. It's wonderful. I mean, I'm being serious. It's great. But you're an anomaly. You understand that. And what do you think the long-term outcome is going to be? That's what I'd like to know. But I'd like to know how long it took you. 2 years. Really? Okay. Well, let's compare that. Okay. This gentleman here, this is 50 days. He lost half of what you lost, more than half of what you lost in 50 days. 75 pounds, 65 inches. And you can see his stomach. He ended up losing it all in about, I think it was 4.5 months. He lost something like 120, 140 pounds, something like that. Great, but it took you 2 years. 2 years. Are you kidding me? People can do whatever they want to do. It's great. You did it. I mean, seriously, what a great accomplishment. But you did nothing to detox your body. And that's the thing we should all fear the most. As a matter of fact, I don't want you to believe me. Do you know they never did a study on human beings? We were storing chemicals on our body to 2005. Let me tell you, at 20 years later, the research is what they're now saying. And don't think you escaped from this by doing the shot, because you didn't. This is the latest study. The Endocrine Society, the largest organization of experts devoted to the research on hormones and the clinical practice of endocrinology, reports the rise in the incidence of obesity matches the rise in the use and distribution of industrial chemicals. These chemicals have a name. They're called obesogens. Remember, this is not my opinion. These are from the top experts in the world, okay? Simply put, obesogens are chemicals that disrupt the function of our hormonal system, leading to weight gain and many of the diseases that curse the American populace. They enter our body from a variety of sources, from natural compounds in soy, hormones fed to animals, plastics in food packaging, and chemicals added to processed food and pesticides sprayed in our produce. They act in a variety of ways, mimicking human hormones such as estrogen, blocking the action of other hormones such as testosterone, and essentially reprogram us to gain weight. What are you doing, any of you? What are you doing about obesity? Had you ever heard the term even obesogens before today? These diets have no impact on obesogens. These researchers, they prove that this did. That's what's so different. That's why we always tell people the weight loss is like, well, like I said, so congratulations, she lost 120 pounds in 2 years. She could have easily, she probably would have lost that in 4 or 5 months on this, just to give you an idea, with no exercise. And but also did all the other things. Okay, and I'm not saying I don't know if you had other, medical challenges. Again, do whatever you want to do. It's fine with me, but you don't have the whole picture. You have obesogens. You have TDOS syndrome. Every person in the world does. You can't. It's no way to deny it. If you're breathing right now, you're breathing in the fumes from the coal-fired power plants in China from 2 weeks ago. For crying out loud, can we? Unless we stop breathing, you see what I'm saying? Look, I'm a researcher. I spent 23 years of my life doing this. And for 22 of those years, it didn't mean a darn thing in the medical world until these medical studies came out to prove all of this. I was one of the canaries in the coal mine, when I started. Look at what they're talking about in the national press. Toxins, chemicals in food. Really? I started talking about that 23 years ago. But it was a lot more difficult to get an audience because of the fact that there was no proof. It was all speculation. So again, every 1 kilogram of fat loss means an extra 2 to 4 more toxins. Yes, I know. Actually, there's not one shred of evidence to back up what you're saying. Show me the study showing that. That's completely wrong. And number one, no, that's wrong. You're wrong. Okay, let's just start with that. He, not she. And why lose weight so fast? Because you know what the studies say? The road to longevity, the faster you can lose weight, the longer you're going to live. And secondly, the faster you lose weight, 95% of those people end up being able to keep their weight off for the rest of their lives. I hope it works for you. But what you're arguing, no, what you're trying to propose has not been proven in science. No diet until now has ever shown removal of any toxins from the body. So I don't know where you're getting your numbers, but they're not back. Show me the medical studies, and then I'll believe you. See, I went through this for 22 years. The same kind of stuff in the medical world. Show us the study. Show us the study. There weren't any. Now we got 10. Okay? I literally researched all. Again, show me the, and again, Rubia, I see you there, La Rubia. It's not I didn't invent this. The researchers who did this. I mean, let's just look at Kristen for a moment here. Where is she? Hold on. There she is. Okay, let's talk about this young woman, 20 pounds in 30 days, 38 inches, okay? No exercise allowed. The researchers that invented this are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. And those researchers determined after 40 years of looking at every kind of diet out there that diets were a miserable failure and every person gained back at least what they lost and more weight. So what they did, they created a whole new paradigm, food groups and new ways of consuming food. First of all, they limited what these people had. They got a grocery list. Only 30% of what they consumed came from the grocery store and ironically had nothing to do with counting calories. had to do with serving sizes. So fats, carbs, proteins, salads, etc. But not calories, serving size, but only 30% of what she consumed in a month. The other 70% came from 5 food groups from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, from Tibet, from South America, New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of nutrition and nutrients that aren't in our food, either in enough quantity anymore, or they don't exist at all. Some of these elements, like from Russia and Mongolia and Tibet, don't exist except in those countries, okay? So let's just start with that. So now they had the ingredients, okay, Rubia, they had the food from the grocery store and the foods from around the world. And then they created 2 new ways of consuming the food. 5 days a week, they had people do 4 meals a day. They started with these world's most perfect meals. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal from these 5 foods around the world. Then 2 days a week, and this was the critical part, they did something, invented something new called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not intermittent fasting, not water fasting. No, nothing to do with any of that. On those days, she had no food from the grocery store, but they let her have these 5 foods. You ready for this? 8 times a day. She ate 8 meals a day. Now, they weren't big in quantity of food. They were huge in nutrition. Does that make sense to you? And those, look at the results. It's silly. Someone was just saying, oh, why do you want to lose weight fast? Because I want to live longer. And I want to be healthier. I want to get the damn toxins out of my body. It's not about the weight loss. The number on the scale doesn't mean a damn thing. It's the ability to detox, to help our own body get rid of these chemicals that we can't avoid. We're breathing them, drinking them, eating them every single day. What the heck? Why do you think 80% of America is overweight? I mean, I'll read another excerpt from one of the experts in the world. Listen to this, Dr. Paula Bailey Hamilton is considered to be one of the world's leading authorities on toxic chemicals and their effects on our health. She says, what appears to be happening is that our natural slimming system is being poisoned by the toxic chemicals we encounter in everyday lives. And this damage is making it increasingly difficult for our bodies to control their weight. The end result is that we gain weight in the form of fat and not muscle, as chemicals cause muscles to shrink and body fat to expand. This is the top expert in the world, not me. You ever seen anything like that in 37 days? And that's not Photoshopped and it's not AA? I'd love for any of you to show me something like that. And by the way, she lost about 35 pounds. Or wait a minute. You know, you can't lose as much weight when you get older. Really? He lost 10 pounds a week. 10 pounds a week. 52.5 inches. But look at his blood work. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 124. So I know when I'm hearing, then okay, then goodbye. Have a great day. Go take a long hike in the woods. You did nothing to detoxify your body. That's not going to change. Your opinions are fine for you to have, but sorry. See you later, alligator. Okay? You're done. So I know when I'm hearing, oh, really? So anyway, let's just mute as well. Anyway, see, people want to come on and they want to argue some preposterous theory with not one shred of medical evidence. If you're going to come on and challenge, because what you're not challenging me, you're challenging the medical proof. There's never been a study up to now showing that any of these diets from any angle were able to, by the way, sell something. There's nothing to buy on the website. We don't even contact people to go there. So that's an outrageous comment that has no basis in fact. I only deal in facts. Okay? I only deal in facts. And when I shake the tree on someone like that wants to hold on, and I was congratulating the person on what they did, but the rest of you now have an option that go on these diets. You remove no toxins from your body. Let me know how that turns out. So anyway, let's see who else. Red meat is inflammatory. Yeah, I know. Let's see. Okay, I'm in. That, as a matter of fact, that's one of the only meats that they do recommend on this is grass-fed. It's got to be grass-fed beef, grass-fed butter, et cetera. But again, that's what the free coaching is all about, and showing you the food list, whatever. It's very specific. It has very specific. But again, okay, great. So any of you, show me what diet you can lose 25 pounds a week safely. What diet would it be? It's not the shots. 120 pounds in 2 years? Well, wait a minute. April, she didn't get the memo. 60 pounds in 3 months. 60 pounds in 3 months versus 120 pounds in 2 years? Really? Really? It's just funny. People get so grounded in what they're doing. They've had great success. Just accept it. But you might be an anomaly, and you did nothing to remove chemicals from your bodies. I don't know. It's just silly. That's all. It's not what I'm recommending for the detox is what I've been talking about. And they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, proving it. Proving this is helping the body get rid of herbicides and pesticides and Scotch yard and Teflon and flame retardants. That's why Rubia, the reason to do it is not to lose weight. You understand what's happening here. The people are literally shrinking because the body, in order to protect you and me, takes the chemicals and stores it in our fat cells. And those fat cells expand with the chemicals. Well, if you can remove the chemicals, the fat cells shrink. Do you know that people on this, their visceral fat with no exercise allowed, it shrank by 33% in 8 weeks? If you go to the website, there's people that lost 100 pounds, no loose skin. Yeah, I forgot to ask that person, do you have any loose skin? Bet they do. It's just science. I don't know why I entertain some of this. It's just dog wash. It's just nonsense. Just accept the fact if you had a great result, great. But it's only the tiny piece of the puzzle is the number on the scale. Do you know one of the things the scientists did? Everybody measured. That's why we have the measurements. 38 inches in a month from her neck to her ankles. How do you think that happens? She shrank. Where's the loose skin? Or where's the loose skin on Julie? 35 pounds. Show me. Where's the loose skin? I know it's hard to believe. I know it is. But I guess you could think either I'm lying to you, but we're providing you. I can't lie about the medical studies. There they are. That you can go and see them. They're all there for you to see. See above my head, the new health conversation. Here's the thing I want to tell all of you. We're not going to call you if you go there. We don't need to do that. Why would we? We let the medical science create your interest. And then you can scroll down. And it's free coaching the whole time for free. Hello? Hello? What's the sales pitch in that? We must be crazy to do that for free. No, because someone coached us. This is like pay it forward. It's just, see, that's the problem. That's why we're projected to have 86% of Americans overweight and obese in less than 5 years because of those attitudes and those beliefs that aren't substantiated in medical science. The number on the scale is less significant. That's what I said in Curtis's case. Okay, he lost a third of what that person lost in 2 years. He lost it in 30 days. But look at his numbers. Look at his A1C, 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124. Would you rather bring your A1C down in a month, or would you rather take 2 years? Do you see what I'm saying? The whole argument about losing weight too fast on a diet, yes, because up to 40% of what you're losing is lean muscle. Here, look at his stomach. He's detoxing his body. His stomach shrank because those fat cells, once you pull the chemical out, the fat cells shrinks. See, and fat cells expand or contract. You don't lose fat cells through diet or through exercise. It's a big lie. You're born with a certain amount of fat cells and you die with a certain amount. Look, what we're doing, I know we're controversial. I get it. People get really mad at me for just showing you the truth. Do you want me to, should I cover it up? Should I not tell you that the New England Journal of Medicine did a 68-week study on semaglutide, and they said it was great results, 32 pounds in 68 weeks, and right in the study, 40% of what they lost is lean muscle mass. This isn't me making it up. It's there it is. So the point is that you can either go back to what you were doing before you came on this podcast today, or continue doing what you're doing, but you're missing the point. It's not about the fact that he lost 40 pounds in a month. I mean, you can see right here that April, that other person was saying that it took him 2 years to lose 120 pounds. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. Which path? Seriously, any of you, if you get the choice, you can do the shots, which will help you lose weight. It's going to take you 2 years, Well, it took, so let's do 2 years is what, 68 weeks. So it took her 34 weeks, which is almost, right? 34, yeah, 34. There's 4 weeks in a month. No, it's more than that. That's 8 months, almost 9 months to lose 60 pounds based on the numbers that we were given earlier. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. And actually, she didn't have that much more weight to lose. So, but the one that I think should stun all of you is this one right here. Now, he had a lot of weight to lose, but my God, he lost 75 pounds in 50 days. He lost half of what she lost in 2 years in 50 days. Which would you choose? I mean, this is why it's so preposterous to me. I understand your skepticism is absolutely preventing you. You think I'm making things up, probably. Because if you didn't, you'd go to the website and you get a free coach. Oh my God, what's wrong with us? I guess we've lost our minds. So, okay, I have 5 doctors recommending the shots because of all my health issues. Definitely a month. I'm interested. Okay, LaRubia, now I'm being really serious. The reason also that we want you to do the evaluation with the coaches is because we've got people you can't imagine. We have people with no thyroids, first of all. We have people with no gallbladders. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with a kidney transplant. So we're not treating, diagnosing, or any diseases whatsoever. We got people with Lyme disease. We have people with lupus. I mean, across the board. And we would never promise you anything. We don't know. But here's the other part I didn't even tell all of you, right? So anyway, let me show you the website again where you can go, Ruby and everybody else right there, the New Health Conversation. So we don't sell you anything. 30% of what you'd buy is from the grocery store. You get the list. The other 70% of what you'd spend your money on. By the way, your total budget is probably about what you're spending now, because you're only buying a third of what you're buying now. The other 70% pretty much pays for these from around the world. But this is what's so amazing. Those suppliers are so convinced that it'll work that in the first 30 days, Rubia, they'll give you 100% of your money back, no questions asked. Sales pitch? Really? Really? Do you see how ludicrous this is? And I get really upset because I want those people that really want to change their lives permanently. Because we'll see, they lost 120 pounds in 2 years. Let's see where they are in 2 years from now when they've gained all their weight back. The medical science doesn't support that. It says that when they're saying 2/3 of people gain more weight than they lost, is it just me or is that it? No, Ruby, the main reason for you to do this is 100% for your health. And it's free to go there. And you get free coaching and it's 100% money back guarantee on 70%. I mean, I know it sounds too good to be true, but it works. And it's the reason that these suppliers are willing to do it, they have the medical proof. And of course, nothing's 100%. I wouldn't be that stupid to say something like that. But okay, so what's your, and I'm not saying if you want to go on the shots, fine. I already told you I'm not against the shots. But maybe you want to try this first. Because seriously, how much weight do you really want to lose, do you think? It's free. LaRubia. See, that's what I'm saying. People, they can't believe it. The consultation's 100% free. The coaching, 100% free. Is that cool, Rubia? LaRubia. Is that cool? Is that cool with you? Is free good enough? Free? I know. I get that question a lot. How much is the free consultation? Well, unless there's a new definition of free, it's free. There's no charge. And they'll spend whatever time with you and go over whatever medical challenges that you might have. But I'm just curious. Yeah, I know. Do you understand, LaRubia, what we're wanting to do? Oh, we got 1,500 likes. I haven't even been looking at the likes. Can we get some more taps? Let's get to at least 2,000 or 3,000. Come on. This is life-changing. I mean, I don't know how many of you see this. I just learned about them. They're called grow rooms. You go in there and it's excitement and they're playing music and they're doing all kinds of things. But are they doing anything to change the rest of your life? See, diets are doomed. Diets are finished. I read to you all before from Medicare. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. They went on to say, our researchers studied long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting by calories in, calories out is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on their diets, and these studies likely underestimate the extent to which dieting is counterproductive In summary, there is little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. I really wish that person well. I hope they're able to keep the weight off, but they're really up against it. The medical proof says they're going to gain all the weight back. I hope that's not true. I'm not rooting for people to fail. Listen, and the other thing about someone tell me about a sales pitch, my own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I never knew her thin. I never knew her healthy, and I loved her, and she was awesome. So this is really personal for me. 24 years ago, she called me up one day, and she said, you know, Peter, I have one wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend one day thin. And she was about as big as that. She needed to lose about 100 pounds on average, 120, whatever. Well, after that conversation, 6 months later, she died of a massive heart attack and stroke. As far as I'm concerned, my mother dieted herself to death. She did about every diet there was. I'd see her lose 20 pounds and gain 25 pounds back. She'd lose 25, she'd gain 30 back. She'd go to Weight Watchers and lose 4 ounces in a week, and they'd give her a gold star. We thought that was great in those days, because what's the mantra now? Lose about a pound a week on a diet that's really good. It's nonsense. It's total nonsense. They've broken the mold, and they have the medical proof published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. Not somebody giving me an opinion on TikTok. Not that there's anything wrong with you giving your opinions. But the medical proof says if you're counting calories, 2/3 if you're going to gain more weight than where you started. So let's say you wanted to lose, let's say you were 150 pounds and you get down to 130, you lose 20 pounds. Well, you're going to end up weighing 155 or 160. Does that sound like something that's successful for 2/3 of you? I'd love for anybody to put in the chat, all my life since 14, daily dose for beauty. Me too. Yeah. So daily dose for beauty, did you hear when I did the explanation of why? So let me ask you this, daily dose for beauty. How much would you like to lose? And you see, you've proven my point. You've struggled your whole life. Oh, yes, you heard me explain what they did. You did hear that? But again, I'm totally open. Look, it's live. Okay, I'm here to support you any way I can. But I'm just curious. You want to lose 75 pounds? Okay, how tall are you? Only because the reason I want to know how tall, then 5'5". Okay, so this is going to sound outrageous to you, okay? But based on what let me ask you this, daily dose. How excited would you be if you only lost 20 pounds in the first month and about 30 or 40 inches? My guess is you'll probably lose 10 to 12 pounds in the first week. How much would that help you? Okay. Well, like I said, what you can do, you can sign up for a free consultation and just go from there. How's that sound? Is that good? Great. So for the rest of you, does anybody else want to ask me a question? I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. I mean, have any of you ever seen anything like this? Where she lost, 37, that kind of weight in 37 days with no loose skin and no exercise allowed. And, I think the important part about, it's dramatic that he lost 40 pounds in 30 days, but look at his medical numbers. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides from 242 to 124. That's the only reason to do this. It's not a question, can you lose the weight? That's like a joke for us. And the key is to teach you how to keep it off for the rest of your life. But it's not that how can I explain it to you? It's so different. So it's not that it's so complicated, it's just that it's so different and you're learning something totally new, or not. Or you can go back to paleo, keto, Mediterranean, all these failed diets, none of which work. None of them work, right? The edema is being caused by your body retaining basically water in this case to dilute the toxins that are in your body. That's a given. We know that to be a fact. And we've had people on, I don't know if you're on a diuretic or a water pill diuretic is a water pill, to combat that. But that's really the chief cause of edema, is the body just trying to dilute the negative impact of the toxins in all of our bodies. Well, so anyway, I'm going to close this out now. I've been on, an hour and 13 minutes. That's great. what I'd like to do is invite all of you to go to that. You can see the website, the New Health Conversation. And if you go there, we won't contact you. We do not do that. We don't contact people. But if you like what you see, then you can scroll down and do a consultation with one of our coaches. And that's completely free. Because again, how you do this is really probably more important than what you're going to be consuming, if that makes sense, okay? So Lasix causes, yeah, you're exactly right. All right, so anyway, I want to thank all of you. I know we've got people from around the world that are watching this podcast. I would encourage you, invite your friends to go to the website, The New Health Conversation, and see for yourselves. Because we won't contact you if you go there. So don't think you're going to go there and you're going to get a phone call from us, because that's not how we do it. So if we were trying to sales pitch you, that would be what we would do. I don't even have any books for sale on that site. But anyway, I would say that I wish you all the best, and I hope you will take some time out of your busy schedules. Go and spend some time at the New Health Conversation. I think you're going to be pretty shocked. So I'm going to say goodbye for now to everybody. Have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever it might be, okay?